So I get asked a lot, how did you start your podcast? Where do I begin? How can I start a podcast? Well, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First of all, it's free. You know, I'm down with the free. There's a creation tool that allows you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Like, ain't nobody listening yet and you making money. How dope is that? It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So what are you waiting on? Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Welcome back to the Coins and Connections podcast, where we explore all things books, business, and bullshit. My favorite bees. Now let's get into today's episode. To the Coins and Connections podcast. It is season 1, episode 1, and today I am joined by my business bestie, India. LIndsey is a professional author, editor, and ghostwriter, the CEO of a writing agency called The Right Touch. She is the author of Something of My Own, How to Start Your First Online Business, a short ebook on venturing into the world of online business, Revenge, a suspense novel, and Closure, a romance novel, as well as the author of many other business books. India has a strong passion for entrepreneurship, social media marketing, and branding, most recently venturing into designing journals. Her motto is good things happen to those who hustle. So guys, welcome India to the podcast. Hey girl.
Hey girl, thanks for having me.
I'm super excited just to have you on our first brand new episode of the season. And
yes.
A little backstory, me and India have been like I'm about to say India friends. Internet friends for like 4 years. And we've only met once. We've only met once in person.
Almost met twice, but we missed each other by like 20 minutes.
Yeah. But we've had a really good friendship, and we made a lot of money together. And we've definitely helped each other a lot in business. And even when I reached out to her to do this episode, and I'm like, girl, can you record early in the morning? And she's like, girl, I don't even wake up that early. So thank you for getting up and recording with me today. All right. So I just want you to just quickly tell the people a little bit about your business.
Okay, so I wear a lot of hats. I'm passionate about a lot of things, but my biggest baby, I guess I'll say, is my writing agency, The Right Touch. And so with that, we do like academic ghostwriting. It's mostly a ghostwriting writing agency, so that takes up a bulk of my time. Then I am an author. I do have several books published under my name, and then most recently, I started venturing into journaling, which is something that you introduced me to last year, but I really wasn't really on the train yet. I was like, okay, I'll get to that one day. And then when I finally had the time to do it, it was like, okay, like this is something that I can actually do. It's fun and it generates money really quickly. So that has kind of taken my focus so far. And I've grown with that, doing the pre-mades and, designing journals for other customers. So that's where I am right now as far as career.
Yeah, so that's like a little bit of advice. If you don't have a friend in your life that is putting you on to money moves, you might need to get rid of them.
That's Cinquanta. You've been putting me on to this for like a year, and I was like, I didn't really get it, and I was like, wait, and then when I finally sat down and took your course and watched your videos, and so like you made it so easy to understand, and I was like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
That goes back to if your friends are putting you onto things, it's okay to support your friends. Like I paid for your course. I sat down and did a consultation with you. Like, even though we're friends, we do pour into each other and support each other's projects.
Yeah, that's super important, especially in today's, these people just be wanting things for free all in your inbox.
Yeah, you're never gonna get anything with free. We learned that. Working with each other for 4 years so far, we've learned. Okay, if you want to get to the next level, nobody's gonna get you there for free. You can't be in somebody. If I know somebody's an expert at something, I will go right to the source. Hey, how much do I have to pay you for you to teach me XYZ? That's what it is. I'm not, going to be in anyone's inbox asking them for free information that likely they paid somebody else for, or they took the time to research and get it done themselves. I just think that's kind of an insult to the person to think that,
Definitely.
they give me something for free.
It's time for our rapid fire questions of the day. Ready? So you just kind of say whatever the first thought that comes to your mind once you hear the question. There's no right or wrong answer. So the first question is, what was the worst roommate you've ever had? Like?
Hell. That roommate from hell.
Was it like one thing that this person did that was just like extremely horrible?
No, I honestly think I'm probably the worst roommate because I'm like a messy person. Like right now my apartment is like a mess, but I have learned that, I don't, like my apartment is going to be a mess during the week because I work, so I don't have time. I run a business. I don't have time to so I've accepted that about myself. Like I live by myself now, but my previous roommate, that I had, we were best friends actually, and people always say don't live with your friends, and that is the absolute truth. Because she was like the closest person I was with, closest friend I've had, and it ended up being like a nightmare. It wasn't even the fact that she did anything; she just wasn't like paying her part of the bills, and then I was, and then she ended up getting upset with me because she couldn't pay her part of the bills, and it got really ugly. To the point I had to move out. So yeah, that was like my worst roommate.
All right. So would you rather go about your normal day naked or have smelly breath and body odor for the whole day?
Naked.
All right. Shout up titties. So, would you rather never have sex or never find true love?
Never, you know me, never find love.
All right, here's another relationship type question, but would you ever make the first move in a relationship?
Yeah, I would.
Okay. And which song reminds you of an ex and why?
I would say Justin Bieber's song. It's I think it's called Hold On Tight.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay. That was a ex, and that was our little song. So that was 2 years ago.
All right. So the last question is, if you were stranded on a desert island, what 3 items would you want to have with you?
A desert island. It's probably no Wi-Fi there, right? So
probably not.
So I probably would bring a book, a journal. What's my third thing? A book, a journal, maybe a candle.
Girl, no food.
Oh yeah.
You be starving. You be eating the paper out the damn book.
But I'm trying to think if you only can bring 1 to 3 food items, what you gonna bring?
Oh no, you have to bring a big ass can of something.
Maybe some fruit. Yeah, you can bring some fruit. That doesn't have to be cooked.
Yeah. That's so funny. Okay. All right. So today we are going to talk about marketing, branding, and advertising. And I just want to know, what is your favorite way to market your services in your business?
My absolutely favorite way to market my business is to go Instagram. So I like not through the Instagram platform. Sometimes I do run ads on Instagram, use that platform, but I prefer to go directly to influencers. So an influencer is somebody who obviously has like a big platform. And so some examples would be like Just Living Baby. I know B. Simone does them. Norman, I can't remember his last name, but Norman, the guy that does a lot of people. So basically, if I would say if they have over 50,000 to maybe a million followers, sometimes they don't even need to have that because there are micro influencers as well. So I consider myself to be a micro influencer. I don't have super big numbers, but if I put something on social media that I'm using, I know a lot of people will be interested in. So it depends on that. Like, look at the person's influence. If you're paying people for social media ads and you're going to an influencer, look at their comments, look at their likes, look at who is like how many people are engaged, because somebody can have a million followers and nobody even checks their posts or like their audience isn't well engaged. So you want to look at people who are well engaged, if they are in your, target audience demographic. When I run ads, I usually do it with my writing services because, what I will put out for an ad, I can make that back in 1 or 2 sales. So, like I would probably not, I would run ads on, Instagram and Facebook because you can directly target them for products. But as far as products, I'm not sure if that's something I would do with an influencer unless I knew for sure that their audience, would use my product. I feel like that's a lot running on that. And then I do it with my writing services because with my academic writing services, it's kind of a need so the customer doesn't really think about the sale. They're like, okay, versus if you do it with products, it's something they don't really need at the moment. So they may, save it. They may think about it. They may forget about it. So yeah, I prefer to do Instagram influencer ads. They've given me a really great turnaround. Side note, before I ran my business, I used to run a social media agency where we did marketing for different companies. And in college, I studied corporate communications, so I knew all about marketing. I knew all about social media advertising, print marketing. I knew the whole gist of everything. And so I used what I learned in school to open my agency. And, we work with big influencers like the girls on Love and Hip Hop. This is when, social media wasn't just starting. But it was when the idea of influencers was just starting. So people didn't know that we hired Drea, we hired the people from Love and Hip Hop. It was really easy to just contact these people's manager, and it's still easy.
They had their bios in their Instagram page back then, because I remember I made like a whole list. And, it was so simple, like, it was like Drea@gmail.com, like simple stuff. And I had like a book with so many influencers, like email address. And I got like, when I was making like earrings and stuff, I got them to like Sunshine Anderson and Little Mo, and like Little Mo wore it on stage with Fabulous. So like, it was so easy back then. And then, you could let them, like, send them a few items and let them pick whatever they want to wear. Like, even the girls from Bad Girls Club, a lot of that stuff was so much easier back then. Now it's like a fight.
Yep, I remember one of the girls from, I think, Tanisha Thompson.
Yep.
I think that's Tanisha Thomas. She didn't even charge me. Like, a lot of people didn't even charge you. You just could send them something free or ask them to post something for you, and they did, because they didn't even understand, I have this platform and I can charge for it. Now, go to an influencer, they'll be like, oh yeah, I'll post this for 20 minutes for $200, because they know their value. They know they have a million people that's following that, at least 20 are going to buy it. So they know their worth. But back then it was like, okay, it was so new, influencing so new that people didn't really know. Well, this was like 4 or 5 years ago. People didn't know. And so
I think even farther than that. Probably a little bit more long.
2013, 2014 was when I had when I had my agency. So it was really early days on social media, but that's the other thing that I love about social media. You can go right to the influencer. They can give you their rate sheet. They'll send you analytics, all of that, and you're able to go right to the source versus going through a middleman, which is Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever platform you're on.
Yeah. So have you basically been real successful with using influencers basically by making sure they lined up with your target audience?
Yes. Like, for instance, I think that people should go to, their target audience. Not necessarily something like, if you sell hair, you don't want to advertise with a hair company, obviously, because they already have that. But if you sell hair, perhaps you can look at somebody who maybe has, a high fashion. They have a lot of people in your demographic. Say your demographic is 24 to 32-year-olds, and you find somebody who is like a fashion guru. Of course, that target audience will likely need hair too, so that's somebody you can market with. Of course, look at the analytics and look at, who are really engaging with them, but try to like cross promote on and try to figure out where your audience is hanging. That's what I try to find it as. Look where your audience is hanging out at. For me, like a lot of my target audience is maybe 20 to 30. So I do advertise with a lot of the comedy pages because that's where my audience hangs out at. And so you want to have your ads in places that people would not think to look at. And it's not the influencer's job to their job is just to get people to you. It's similar to how TV ads used to be back in the day. If you look on a TV ad, it's not their job to get you people to, it's their job to get the product in front of your consumer, and it's your job to turn the sale into that.
Yeah. So basically, like, on what platform do you see yourself receiving the most sales from looking at your just reviewing your sales? What platform do you receive the most sales from?
When I do marketing, I receive the most sales from Instagram. When I'm running ahead, I'll get an Instagram. I'll get people on my mailing list. I'll get people on my DMs. I'll get, people sharing my posts. I get that on Instagram. But if the sales are organic, mostly they come from Facebook.
Yeah. So do you normally, does it happen to be cross-promoting? Like, they'll find you on Instagram and then they'll maybe come over to find you on Facebook, or vice versa? Like, if they saw you on Twitter, next thing you know, they're following you on Instagram and Facebook?
Yep. They do follow me everywhere. They'll get on my mailing list. They're Googling me personally.
They nosy.
Yeah, this time they're like, oh, who owns this company? Who is this? Like, I've had people email me and said, oh, I use a company, so I Googled you and I found this article about you. And I was just like, what the heck? So yeah, they're nosy. They find me on every platform. And then I know there is a special software that can, retain all of these clients. Like, if somebody finds you on Instagram, it'll lead to Twitter, Facebook, all of that. But I have not installed that type of software yet. But it is a software that, if someone clicks your ad on Instagram, and we've all seen it, because I just did it the other day with, I can't remember the brand, but I saw the brand on Instagram. I clicked on their website. I did not buy it. I clicked off the website. I get on Facebook. It's an ad on Facebook. It's an ad on Twitter.
Yeah, retargeting ads. Oh,
yeah, yes. Retargeting. So, I haven't really implemented that, but I'm sure if I do, it'll be the same with customers trying to find.
And normally people, they can retarget their consumers or people who visited their Facebook by Facebook pixel. So most websites do have like a spot where you can put the Facebook pixel, and all of this is held in the Facebook Business Manager. So if you're running ads from Facebook to Instagram, never just boost the post. Like, that's a whole new episode, but you should be using your Facebook Business Manager, getting your Facebook pixel and adding it to your website along with your Google Analytics. What is it? Analytics. Because I always choke up on that goddamn word.
I just started
But
using Google. I just started using Google Ads like last
yeah.
month, and I did really well. Like, yeah. So I've been playing with all types of advertising everywhere. I'm like, I want people to see me on YouTube everywhere. Like
Yep.
it's one girl, it's one entrepreneur. When I say she has ads everywhere, it's like, dang, you know, you like, dang, everywhere. I'm like, I've been on this.
So do you use email marketing once you get them on your list? Do you how often do you probably email, or do you email only when you have a sale?
I could do a lot better on email marketing. I do have like email marketing lists, and I'm not as good at sending emails out as often, but I know that is something that works, and I've done it in the past. So recently, I just haven't done it so much, but I do understand the importance of it. And in the past, when I had social media marketing clients, I was always on them about sending a weekly newsletter or sending a daily newsletter or something. Just popping up in your customer's inbox every week or every day is so important, because sometimes people forget about your products, and when they're getting like every day, it's like, you know, when you're dating somebody in the beginning stages and they send you a good morning text, like, it's like, okay, send you say good morning text.
Yeah, so, I know. I remember you posting something about Wix, because that's one of the platforms that you use. And I remember you posted something about how they had like this follow-up thing where you could like send emails to them. You want to tell the listeners a bit about that? Because I know some people probably sleep on Wix as like a website to use for their business, but you have been doing really well on it. How long have you been running your website on Wix?
Okay, so I love Wix, and every time I talk to people, people are always like, "Oh my God, Wix gives me so much trouble," but I love Wix. Previously, I'm an OG entrepreneur, so previously I've used pretty much like every platform, but I think I was using like Big Cartel, like, you know, that was like so old school, Big Cartel, and so I moved. I used to run a brand called the Daily Virgo. And that was where I housed Big Cartel. So I knew when I started a new brand that I did not want to do Big Cartel. And I saw Wix, and I love that Wix integrates everything for you for a monthly or yearly fee. So I pay for my domain yearly, and I pay for my website is integrated through that. Like my domain email is housed through that monthly. And most of the things that are added on, it's like a monthly fee. And I love Wix because my marketing emails are integrated through that. I don't send marketing like a newsletter weekly, but what Wix allows is like in the back end, whenever a customer purchases, about 2 or 3 days later, they'll receive an email that's a coupon. And it will say, you know, thanks for shopping with us. Here's a coupon. It also allows me to integrate it like a abandoned cart feature. So if somebody is on my website and they forget about it or, you know, abandon their cart, it'll come back maybe 7 hours or 8 hours later and say, hey, here are these things in your cart. So I love Wix. I have no problems with Wix. They are so easy. It's easy to, you know, integrate any type of thing that you can on any other website like Shopify or I'm not sure what other platforms people are using, but I love they have a app. So when customers come on my website, I'm able to like chat directly with the customer right from the app.
Yeah.
The app also tells me when I have a new order. It's really easy. I love Wix. I'm like a Wix advocate.
Yeah, they definitely sound almost basically mirrors what Shopify does, but Shopify is more so like for e-commerce businesses that are like more product. But I feel like Wix is really good for like a service-based business as well. Also, I just wanted to know, and then so you can tell everybody like what or do you have an ads budget monthly? And is it realistic for other business owners to basically start small with the ad budget, or just go out the gate and just go like, I got 1,000 on it every month and I know I'm going to make my money back type thing?
I would say start large. Like, don't start small. You can't. But on, like, I have a marketing ebook where I detail this. But be smart about your money. A lot of people, I would tell people who haven't been in business for almost 6 years, save money, don't make money. You need to invest money into marketing. Like, period. You can't have. There are so many seasons and periods in business, but if you're always finding new clients, you're always, marketing your business, you won't experience those slow periods. What I would say is a $600 to $1,000 budget monthly is realistic, and that is what I had for myself. Eventually, I want to get to like a $5,000 budget. I want to get to like a $10,000 budget.
Mm-hmm.
I've worked with customers in the past, like when we were when I had my agency, I had customers. We worked with one influencer. She charged us originally $10,000 at the time, and we talked her down to $8,000. And that $8,000 that was invested into her, just promoting our brand for that weekend, she made my customer made like $25,000 back. So,
wow.
Like it pays for itself. Like when I usually set aside about $600 to $1,000 a month, and I would say I make that back 3, 4, 5, 6 times sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
It's worth it too, because you always need to find new customers. Some people think that they can put out $100, $50, and that's gonna bring them customers. Like, no. And then you have to really know what your objective is when you're marketing. Yeah. Are you just trying to get on your mailing list? Are you trying to get customers? Are you trying to get people on your website? Like, what are you trying to do? So that depends on what you're trying to spend. For me, when I think about, marketing, like I ran an ad yesterday. I wanted people on my mailing list, and I wanted new sales. I made my ad that I only spent $160 on this ad, and I made $1,000 back. You have to know the people to go to, and you can't be scared about money and money is simple energy. So you can't think that, I'm going to hold on to this $200 and it's going to make me $400. Like, no, you have to put that money out into the world, find some more people, and that $200 that you invested can turn into $2,000. Trying to get some people to understand this is hard. They just think that people are going to find their business outside of the sky and it's just going to fall in their lap. I'm like, people don't I read something on Facebook the other day, this guy who owns a business, he said something like, businesses that are struggling, they don't have any problem. You have a sales problem. Like, it's billions of people in the world. You just need to go find your clients.
Yep.
Like that's just my take on it as far as social media marketing. I would say, if you have only a budget of $200 a month, if realistically speaking, you only have $200 a month, and I find that hard to believe. I'm not in anybody's pocket, but there are so many ways to make money. Say it may not be the most glamorous way, but say if somebody wanted to make $1,000 a month to invest into marketing, how can you make $1,000? You probably can do something from home. You can do Uber Eats. You can do
DoorDash.
You can literally use that stream of income to promote, to put money into marketing. Say you make $1,000 a month from Postmates or whatever, and then you put that directly into your business. That's going to bring you $10,000 a month. But I'm not sure if everyone thinks like that, but it's just a sacrifice. Or if there's somewhere in your life, maybe you can cut back on eating out, or maybe you can cut back on 1 or 2 trips that you may be taking this summer, and put that money into marketing. That may be your income for the whole summer. So,
yeah. I definitely think people don't think like that anymore. I feel like they're allergic to hard shit. Like, that's hard. That's too much work. Oh, I'm embarrassed to be picking up other people's food and delivering it. And it's like, nah, that's money. It don't matter. Like, long as you ain't doing nothing illegal at this point, anything that can make you money, like, I'm doing it. I've done the most simplest tasks for like $10 for, 15 minutes of work. But a lot of people are not built for they're not built for the nitty gritty tedious things. And it will show when they get a real business. Like, sometimes you got to go through the mud to come out clean. And a lot of people are just not built for that.
Entrepreneurship is not easy. A lot of people feel like, oh, I'm not getting these results, but are you really working hard? Are you, exasperating every area in your business? Are you trying to make money every way you can? And that's just, I tell people all the time. People are like, oh, how much do you invest? I wrote an entire ebook on my whole marketing plan. And people are, oh, can I start off with $100? I'm like, no. They're like, well, I don't have the money to invest. I say, you got to find the money. Unless you are physically disabled and you can't take on any other, tasks, I understand that. Or you can't find a babysitter, I understand that. But, you have to find either a way to decrease your expenses and come up with the ad money, or increase your income by finding something else. Maybe you can cook and you're able to bake, and that's going to bring you the extra $1,000 monthly. You don't even have to go to, an influencer. You can do old school marketing. Like when I first started my business, I put an ad into a directory. That was only $10 a month, but it brought me, 10 clients. That's 10 clients I didn't have. I'm paying $1 per client. So, you can maybe find a newspaper, a local newspaper, and see how much it is to put an ad in the newspaper. You can go to literally printing out flyers in places. Like, if money is an issue, you gotta still find a way to get customers to find your business. So,
yeah. And I know you have a love-hate relationship with Twitter, but what advice would you give someone who is kind of just starting out and wants to market their business on Twitter? Do you have any advice for them?
I think Twitter is a great platform for information. That's one of the things, even though I get a lot of flack on Twitter for my opinion. I'm an opinionated person. That's just, life. Not everyone is going to be happy with what I have to say, but I'm still going to say it. But what I would say is, somebody who is new on Twitter, start, and you want to get noticed, or you want people to follow your brand, how can you show information? How can you share information? Maybe one thing that's really big on Twitter is the thread. So I love the threads because Twitter used to be 160 characters. So, if you said something that's only 160 characters, but now you can add on a thread and so elaborate on that part. Like, it's no longer, the sky is blue. You can go into why the sky is blue, and you can write a whole thread, which is like a story, and then shared on many platforms. If you're big on another social media, say Instagram is where all your people hang out, and you have like 10,000 followers on Instagram. What I see a lot of people doing now is like screenshotting their tweets and then putting them in their stories or putting them on their page. Yep. So then it's like people know, hey, I'm over on Twitter too, and they can follow you on Twitter. So it's really, I love Twitter. It's really an easy way. I think Twitter has always been fun for me. I'm a writer by nature, so I love to storytell. I love to talk. And so that's just me talking to myself on there, and then people all of a sudden they find me and start to follow me. And then follow me, and they're like, oh, I don't like this girl's opinion. And then they unfollow me, then they come back. And it's just, but I think that it's not easy to build yourself on Twitter. Unless, if you're good with words, I think so. If you're a writer, you're good with words, you know how to storytell, then that's your jam. If you're somebody who is good at pictures and not so much words, then, stay on the other platforms.
Yeah,
But
I've
yeah,
definitely done that, like screenshotted some of my tweets and, take it over to Instagram or Facebook. And it definitely helps because I've got a lot of saves from doing stuff like that. And I've seen a lot of people, hell, I've seen someone turn a whole journal into their tweets. So it definitely, yeah, it definitely can be a good place to get some shit popping or go viral. In this case, what everybody want to do. My
yeah,
last
and
question for you. Oh, you got something else to say?
I was just saying that it's relatively easy if you have like a third and you're giving information for you to go viral.
Mhm.
Like you just need the right person to see it, and then
Yeah.
or say something that people don't like. I
It's a
never tried to
wrap.
go viral. I never tried to go viral, but it's like my tweets where people are like upset about. And that's when the viral just like happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, what is like the number one question you get in your inbox?
That's a tough one. The number one question I probably get is, can you help me write a book, or can you tell me how to put my book out on Amazon? Probably, can you help me write a book?
Yeah.
I like 20 times a day, and I'm like, okay, here is how you read a book, and then they'll like disappear after that.
Yeah. It's so crazy because people will ask that question. They always ask, how can you help me? And then when you give them the tools, it's like they disappear. And we both experienced this. It's more like, right now, everybody's talking about different type of cultures. This is a hand holding culture. They want you to hold their hand throughout the entire process, and then they don't want to pay you. And that shit ain't gonna fly over here. So I'm gonna need y'all to, if y'all gonna jump in the inbox, be ready to work at least. And then another thing is, if you're gonna say, can you help me write a book, I usually ask, well, have you written anything yet? Like, do you have a chapter? Like, you don't come ask somebody, can they help you write a book, and you don't even have any words ready on the paper yet, because that's the hardest part. Like, start. Like, if you come to me with a manuscript or at least 5 chapters, all right, maybe we can do something then. But if you come with nothing, I don't know what you expect to get.
Yep, that's literally in my intake form when I take ghostwriting clients. I ask, have you started your book? Why haven't you finished your book? With both of us, we both literally wrote our books, and that was how we originally connected, because we both were authors. We wrote our books, we self-published. Before I even put my first book out, I spent a year studying the industry. I studied, what was hot. I looked at the top writers. I looked at their criticism. I looked at the good things people said about them. I looked at, the cover. Like, I really, really studied before I put my first book out, because I knew that, your first book is like your first impression to the world. And so I was like, I'm not going to sign to a publishing company. I can do this myself. So, as you said, people are just intimidated by hard work, and it may seem in today's world that people get successful quickly, but people put in work. You may see somebody very successful at 36, but they could have been working on their business since 18. Like me, I've been an entrepreneur since I was 18. I've had some failed businesses. And so when you see people successful at, 35, 37, 40, they've been putting in work for 20 years. So it's not like, they just woke up. You're just getting to know them. It just seems like, oh, this person just went on this show, or this person just put out this product, and now everybody knows them. But, behind the scenes, they could have been literally working hard for 20 years until, something stuck. It's hard work that'll get, people to that next level.
This segment is called Q Money Bag Thought of the Week. And I want to tell you guys about a Facebook post I posted this week, and it said, "You are inconsistent and it shows." I got a lot of comments, mainly gifts, of people feeling attacked, raising their hand, saying you're talking to me, next time at me. It was like very hostile in my comment section, but I was just kind of verbally putting into writing what I had seen from just working with different people. They always say, oh, well, my business is not flourishing. Oh, well, you're inconsistent. And because your business is not flourishing, that's why. And that's why I said, and it shows. So what is your take on that statement that I made this week on Facebook?
I think I love that post because it was like, I think I wrote love that post, and I'm not sure if I commented on it, but I was like laughing so hard when I saw it because it's so true. Like, you can't do something once a week or show up every few months and think that you're going to get some sales. Or like, I know a lot of people who are like that, or, they want to throw out a product and think that it's going to make them a whole bunch of sales. Like, you have to be consistent. As I mentioned before, I've been in business for 6 years. Every day, good or bad, I show up. I'm sharing a project. I'm sharing, something that I'm selling. Believe it or not, people are not always worried about us. So they forget, if you're not putting your products out, if you're not getting in their face, if you're not getting in customers' faces every day, they're going to forget about you and go to the next thing. I've learned that with just even with my new venture into journaling. I've been selling the pre-made journals that I've developed. I've been selling one every day. It's been a little over a week that I've been doing the pre-made, and I've made 1 or 2 sales every day just by showing up every day.
Yeah.
And that's so small, even if somebody wants to start small. In my book on how to make 10K in 90 days, I talk about having 1 sale a day. Just 1 sale a day. If you want to have a 125 that you make every day, you'll reach that 10K in 90 days. But people get so, break your goals down. Say, they're like, oh, I need to do all of this. You can do it step by step by just showing up every day, finding 1 customer every day.
Yeah, but, and not only that is consistency. I've said this before, but consistency looks different for everyone. Like, I understand that some people have a 9-to-5. I understand that people have small kids at home, or I understand that some people work night shift. But consistency, for me, will look different for you. Like, my consistency is me getting up in the morning and maybe journaling. And then I schedule all of my posts so that it still looks like I showed up every day. To me, that is being consistent as hell, because even though I'm not, manually going in and posting it, I've had my stuff scheduled for where they kind of auto post. And regardless if I was to take 2 weeks off, you wouldn't be able to tell, because it'll still look like I'm showing up. I could be on a fucking beach someplace, sipping some Hennessy, and my posts are just scheduled and ready. I may not be engaging completely, but it still looks like I'm showing up, but I was actually on vacation. So don't feel like, oh my gosh, I have to post every day, but find out what your consistency looks like for you and your business. And it could definitely just be maybe going live once a week. It could be, hey, I showed up on Twitter, and I made 3 threads this week. And that can be what your consistency is. But I think the biggest thing that we want people to understand is like, you just have to do it. Don't overthink it. Don't burn yourself out. Just, you have to do it. When you think of something, like, you just have to put that shit in motion. No second guessing, or you're going to be sitting in the same spot next year, like, damn, the whole year done went by and I ain't did shit. I ain't accomplished shit. My business ain't moved. I didn't learn anything new. So get out there and get it, y'all.
I agree. I agree. I think people overwhelm themselves. Like you said, consistency looks different for everyone. So it doesn't have to be, like, try to be consistent at one thing. So, And last year I said, the only thing that I was consistent at doing every day, all year, once a day, was journaling. It was simple as that.
Yeah.
Journal at least every day. And I try to, even if you can find, for me, journaling every day, that was consistency, because I can look back today and literally go look at, what's today's date, February 20th, and see what I said last year. And I'm like, okay, this is what I was going to do last year. I got past that. Whatever I'm going to do today is easy. So even if you find something as simple as maybe adding one new customer a day to your mailing list, or posting one thread, like you said, posting a couple threads a week, like find one thing that you can do consistently, and then build from there. You don't have to do a whole bunch of things consistent and then, overwhelm yourself. Start with small things. And, with me allowing me to journal consistently last year, that inspired me to create my own journal in the beginning of the year. And then that inspired me to be consistent with helping other customers do their journal. So maybe something small that you start as far as, writing down maybe a to-do list every day and getting everything on your to-do list done, and not overwhelming yourself. Just maybe write 3 things you need to get done today, and then doing that every day. By the end of the week, you have accomplished over 20 things.
Yep.
So doing small things, that's how I break. The way I schedule my week, in the beginning of the week, I write out everything I need to get done that week. And then I split it up to 3 things a day. And then by the end of the week, I've accomplished 20-something things. And by the end of the month, I've accomplished close to 100 things. And it seems like, I've done a lot, but I've done it in small increments.
Yeah.
So, it seems like a lot in the end.
And it always looks good
a lot.
It's a good feeling when you can look back like on January and all the things you've written down that you checked off, that you accomplished. It's just it gets, you get this like warm feeling like, damn girl, you did that. Like, so it's like, now February is a short month. It was like, now if I did all that in January, now I know what I can accomplish in February. So,
February, I only have 9 more days, but I already said, these next 9 days, I do better probably at the end of the month, because it's crunch time. Okay, this crunch time, I only got 9 more days. I'm about to kill it. So
yep. And that's good. So I hope you guys take away a lot of information, some inspiration, some motivation from this episode. And India, I want you to just tell everyone where they can find you in these internet streets.
Okay, so I am India LIndsey on Facebook. I am at India LIndsey on Twitter. That's my professional account. I don't really tweet on that. Sometimes I am on India Almighty, but if you are sensitive, do not follow me, because this is not I talk about business, everything, life on my personal platform, but I do talk about business. And on Instagram, I'm not really on Instagram, but I'm India Almighty on Instagram too, and India LIndsey on Instagram. So, I'm all over these internet streets now. My company website is www.gettherightouch.com. And you can find my journals, my books, my ebooks all on Amazon under India LIndsey.
All right. So I'm super glad that you joined us, even though it was a little early in the morning. Had to get the little frog out your voice, but we made it happen. And this has. So, I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Make sure you go follow India. And again, girl, just thank you so much. So until next time. Thank you so much for listening and subscribing. Don't forget to leave a review. If you have any questions, you can email me at hello@cinquantacoxsmith.com. Feel free to visit my websites, www.cinquantacoxsmith.com and www.coinsandconnections.com. You can follow me on Instagram at cinquantacoxsmith and at coinsandconnections. Feel free to visit my free Facebook group. It's called Books Plus Business Support Network. And I love you more than I love this podcast. Peace.